Yo, 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 yo. What is up? What is up? What is up? It is your man, Jelani JB Bodie. Once again, this is the Wait a Minute Show. And I'm back in the building to give you your sports fix, like I always do at this time. So, hope y'all ready. We got some probably some controversial stuff that we'll be touching base on. Some unique stuff in the world of college basketball. But before we get into all of that, before we touch on the topics, I already said it's me. But make sure you like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. Everything. Follow the show. Make sure you are following the show and you're sharing this with some folks that's out there. I don't do this by myself. So, in the background, running the machine and everything to keep us going is Big Mo in the building. But we're going to bring Mo in. And let's just start this thing off real quick, Mo. I want to ask you, because we talked about this, but we didn't talk about it before coming on here. I know you said
Okay.
that you were going to the parade. So did you make it to the South Carolina?
Shout out to Dawn Staley. Shout out to my girls. Went to the parade. The parade. Okay. All right. Let me say this about the parade.
Pulled up
It's
in that
probably
double R.
now she. You know what? I think she was in a Ferrari or something. I don't know. Maybe she jumped out and got into something else. I'm out there amongst thousands, so I couldn't really see a whole lot.
All right.
It was
Tell me what it was like. Tell me that experience.
all right. So the parade was horrible, right?
Oh,
It was horrible until the girls came out. When the girls came out, then it felt like you got thousands of people out there. Listen, man, it was. I felt like anybody in the city could have got in the parade. It was just random cars riding through, and it was just little insurance companies and stuff. Big up to them. I'm glad they got a chance to come out and do some advertising. But I
yeah.
was ready
We're
to
gonna
go.
hike the prices up.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
was ready to go. And then the girls came out, man. They got live. They got live quick. I hate crowds, so navigating through them crowds was horrible for me, man. But Dawn Staley, she came out hype as she always is, throwing the
Nice.
shirts out there. Camilla got the trophy, holding it up. Everybody going nuts, and she kind of got in the mix of the crowd a little bit. They had to get her out of there because it got crazy, but it was fun, man. It was fun. It was
Hey,
big fun. I love that energy.
it's about how you finish, not how you start.
It's
So
about how you finish. Because if they going off how they started, man, it was man, get that championship to somebody else, man. Because y'all, shame on you, Columbia, South Carolina, man. Shame on y'all for that
oh
parade,
man.
man.
Hey, shout out to the Lady Gamecocks again.
Absolutely, man.
And
Absolutely.
shout out to Cadorsa because she'll be playing pro ball pretty soon here
Mm-hmm.
in the next few hours, if you will. Hours. Look at
Yeah.
that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I
What
know,
it's come
right?
down
Life
to.
changed that minute, that quick.
Yeah, that fast. So appreciate you, Mo. Let's go ahead get into
Absolutely.
what we're talking about. First thing we're gonna kick off with. People were talking AI, right? Allen Iverson. So Mr. Allen Iverson gets his trophy, or I shouldn't say trophy. That's being disrespectful. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I don't want nobody coming after me when I say that. He got his statue. He got his statue revealed to him. But it came with some people with, difference of opinions about the statue, right? So if you haven't seen, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't seen it, take a look. This is Allen Iverson standing with the trophy, and I'm sorry, the statue. He said, when y'all see that statue, y'all can feel good about the part that y'all did in helping me with my life. This is such an honor, man. It don't even seem real, right? So that's Allen Iverson standing there with his statue. Why do I have that word baked into my brain? Because I'm not doing it on purpose, but the statue. And the reason that maybe the T word is popping up because people had some thoughts about it, about the size of it, and everything. And here's what I'm gonna say: when I first saw it, I'm gonna be honest. I was just like, wow, that's it's kind of small, but if you look along that pathway, all the other Philadelphia greats, that got statues and everything is pretty much the same size. So it's like, okay, it's universal. It's not a slight. It's not they did, AI dirty. Main thing important is that Allen Iverson was happy with what he got, right? At the end of the day, because it's about him. So if he's happy, nobody else should have a problem with it. But I do have a little bit of a problem. I do have just a tad bit of a problem, right? We're used to statues. Statues are, they're big, right? They're normally big. I think all the statues out there then, need to be increased, right? I do. I get it. That I think some people are talking about it. It's the Sixers don't own that facility and all that stuff. It don't matter. You can move that. You can pick it up, move it somewhere else if you move. But I would have liked if all of the statues, right, were bigger. But at the end of the day, Allen Iverson ain't got a problem with it, so nobody else should have a problem with it. Now, y'all wrong for out there posting that little Mike stuff, with Bow Wow talking about that was his post, his statue and everything. So shame on you. But we all know the internet is undefeated when it comes to stuff like that. But it was long overdue. The man done a lot for Philadelphia. He showed heart. He well deserved it. One of the best basketball players, to ever come to the NBA and actually play in the world. So let's move on. We're gonna stay in the world of controversy, but it's even more controversial. Is that just this recent past few days, we lost O.J. Simpson, right? So O.J. Simpson passed away. I think he was 77, somewhere around there, if I get it right. But he passed away due to cancer. And so when I got the news, I just said, oh boy, because I knew this day was coming, right? This was going to come, and it wasn't just going to just pass by. And obviously, just like Allen Iverson, his statue, there was some harsh words, on both sides, or harsh words on both sides of the spectrum when it comes to this. And I'm not surprised, and no one else should be surprised. You should have expected this. You can't talk about, because I think I was talking to a friend about this, and he was talking about, well, they should have just mentioned about football and just moved on. And I'm like, bro, you can't just mention football when it comes to OJ Simpson. He was associated and involved and included with one of the most uh, watched watched court cases in the world, and probably in history, right? They turned off the NBA finals. They went to the Ford Bronco and all that stuff. So you have those items. You have just what some of the other stuff that popped up along with the stuff that he did as football, in the world of football, in the world of movies and everything. But you were going to come up with this, and then obviously you're going to have families that's going to have very definitive opinions, about things, that's out there. So OJ, after all that stuff happened, stuff was controversial. It was controversial, from there on out, and until I knew it to the day that he died. It was going to be controversial, and that day it was controversial. That day as well. You believe what you want to believe, when it comes to it, but we have to acknowledge both sides. If you're talking about football, yes, you got to talk about the 2,000 yards. You got to talk about what he did in Buffalo, and you got to talk about what he did in the entertainment and field as well. But then also the association that he had as well with the murder trial. You got to talk about that along with other items on it. So I don't have a big, and Mo, maybe you got something, because, and again, we didn't even talk about this, but if you got something, or, and I'm not saying that you got to, but if you got something, you can share it here with me.
I'll say this about the OJ Simpson situation. Perception is always going to be reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not here to talk about whether or not he did it or didn't. But I mean, you've seen him with a lot of other celebrities. This is his legacy now, right? That's not Football is not the first thing you're going to talk about with OJ. Some people came out and had opinions about it, and some of them maybe they should have just said nothing. But I mean, I forgot about the fact that they stopped the finals for it. You reminded me of that, and that just let you know how big the story was. I mean, and has been for years. I think it's been like maybe 2 documentaries and a movie made about it. I mean, it's just going to heighten up from here, man. I mean, he gone now. Whatever you think about him, is what you think about him. But I'm one that I'm pretty good about separating, entertainers or whatever from their personal lives. But this is one of those exceptions where it's almost impossible to do it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost impossible to do it. I mean, I tried to do what R. Kelly couldn't do it. It's impossible to do it. But I mean, it's wild. It's crazy, man. Rest in peace to the juice.
We're not gonna go down that list because it's when you start going down that rabbit hole, it's some other names
Man,
that start popping up. So we
it's
don't want to
crazy how
get
you got to dance around that stuff, man. It's
yeah.
just unless you just sitting in the
You,
barbershop talking about it.
you never know how somebody's gonna take what you say because it could be misinterpreted, and then they'll run with it.
Exactly.
They'll run with
Exactly.
it. So, but
Exactly.
it is it is what it is. So, uh appreciate you, Mo. Let's move on.
Absolutely.
And out of the world of football, but let's touch base on some basketball in the professional ranks, specifically. So, the regular season is done in the NBA, right? So we got play-in time, play-in tournament, play-in matchups, right? On both sides, East and West Coast. So coming up on actually our first matchup is going to be West Coast games. Actually, what we got? Let me check my stuff. We got Lakers versus Pelicans, and then a rematch from last year in the playoffs. You got Golden State versus the Sacramento Kings, right? And it's kind of amazing in all with this whole playoff or play-in tournament that's going on because Lakers was just a series away from the NBA finals and they're right back where they were at last year in the play-in. So you can have the confidence that what the Lakers can get back to the Western Conference final because they did it before, right? So to me, there's nothing that you can just sit there and really hold against the Lakers because they've done it before. Now, you don't want to play that game because the team that they're playing against, which is the Pelicans, they have a different identity this year, and this is what I was expecting from the Pelicans last year, but of course Zion got hurt. So with that squad, they're a dangerous squad. It's not just Zion. You got McCollum and you got Bi Brandon Ingram there. You got a bunch of other guys there, Murphy as well. So you got you. They have a lot of raw young talent, right? And they are vicious. They are ready to prove a point. So I think this is going to be a good matchup. I don't think it's going to be. Here's what I'm going to say. I do believe the Lakers will win this, but I think it'll be off of the experience, right? Pelicans are kind of, McCollum's been there, but Pelicans are, kind of new to this. So this isn't a 3-game, 4-game, 7-game or 5-game series. So you got to make it count, right away. Going to the Golden State Warriors and the Kings, I'm just surprised that we had such an amazing playoff matchup last year that both of these teams are in the play-in. I didn't think Golden State would be in the top three. And look, the window is closing on Golden State. Some people may be mad, on that, but nothing lasts forever. Nothing. Ask Jordan, right? At some point, they stopped winning. The Lakers, sorry, Mo, at some point with Shaq and Kobe, they stopped winning. It just happened. Nothing lasts forever. So I do think this will, be an interesting matchup. But the Kings, I really thought they were taking that next step. Obviously things happen, during the season, but uh, I'm gonna say I'm leaning towards the Kings a little bit in what I would call an upset because I still think Curry, Clay, Dre, and Kaminga and other guys that's stepping up in those roles. Um, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They won last year, but I do think Sacramento might pull this one out. We got what else we got on the East side? We got Miami versus Philadelphia. So obviously this is a little bit different because there are some injuries that played into this. No one probably thought Philadelphia would be in a play-in, tournament. But here's where it starts. Here's where you make your mark. Here's where you're gonna go on a roll. Everybody, I flipped over from the Bucks saying that this is the Celtics to lose. They're gonna get to the finals. So here's the opportunity. This is where it starts. And you saw the team that you're playing against is a prime example because they went all the way to the finals last year with it. I do believe that the Philadelphia 76ers for them to win this though, It got to be Maxi. It has to be Maxi is your guy, at least for right now. Maxi is your guy, and that's it. There is no 1B or 1C or nothing like that. It got to be Maxi. Let's not play any games. Let's ride the kid and see if he can get us to that next level. Then you got here in the ATL, you got Atlanta taking on the Chicago Bulls, right? Uh, Atlanta fans gonna be mad at me, man, but it just seems like the Hawks, you know, find a way, to just find a way for it not to happen. It just things just happen. So I think it'll be the same thing. I'm not even gonna go into this big whole thing, with what they're doing. I think Chicago, they have a really good team, and I just don't think, I hope, I wish. Because I'm down here in the ATL, and I always root for the Hawks to have success, but I just don't think it's gonna happen, man. And then the controversy start about who's going to get traded out of Atlanta. But that's for another time. But play-ins are in full effect. The playoffs I think are really going to be good. We talked about this last year. I told y'all, I said OKC is coming, and I said when Chet gets back, they're gonna be a problem. And finished number one in the Western Conference. Although it was the same record as the Nuggets, but this is a young, nasty team, man. And just props to their organization to really move on from having KD, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden in that building. To be back here with a young nucleus of talent, and they a problem, man. They're gonna be real interesting to watch, through the playoffs. Eastern Conference, I think I'm gonna stick with that. Is Boston's to lose. Uh, they just got to make sure they don't have those laps and those turnovers like they did last year. But Mo, you look like you got something to say.
I'm, you were right about OKC. I'll give you that. And Atlanta sports is Atlanta sports. But I just real quick, you really ready to give up on Golden State?
Yeah,
You
I was
really feel
ready
like
to.
we are
Uh,
officially looking at the end of an era?
yeah, I was ready to give up on Golden State last. And don't get me wrong, I'm not looking forward to it because I like Clay, I like Steph, I like Draymond, I
I,
like Golden State, but that ride doesn't last forever, my
it
friend.
doesn't.
It
It
don't.
doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't last forever. But I'll say this: they're not going to forget how to shoot. You know, being able to get open to get those shots is one thing. Stopping other teams. But I think they got some Kansas City pedigree in them. I think we were ready to write them off for the season last year, Kansas City, and they came
Right.
back. I'm not saying that
But
Steph Curry is Pat Mahomes of the NBA, but I can't.
here,
I don't see him going down
here's
in this play-in tournament.
here's why I say that, Mo. Here's why I say that. It's the bar, and they're just a victim of the bar that they have set. Golden
Okay.
State, there is if we're talking 3-4 years ago, and you mentioned the word playing about the Golden State Warriors, you might
Right.
get slapped in the mouth. You might get slapped in the mouth.
Oh,
And
listen.
we talking about the playing, man.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That bar doesn't mean losing to the Sacramento Kings in the play-in tournament. I don't. Listen, I get it. Last year, great matchup, but this year, give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going against you on this one. I'm going
Okay.
against you on that one, and we'll
Listen,
see.
I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just saying it is. I've seen this before where it's just like we hold on and we try to be like, but they used to have it, and they can possibly get it and turn it on in the playoffs. And here's the other thing: this is the home state guy, but I don't know if I can depend on Draymond to be there for the entire series.
You right. You right. You may be onto
So
something, but I'm telling you right now. Listen, these guys they hadn't looked great, but don't count them out. They got the pedigree. They got the
they
pedigree.
they do.
Maybe you'll prove me wrong, but I doubt it.
I
I
I
doubt it.
I don't like being right about that, but
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll
Uh,
come back
and
to it.
all right, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see what they're gonna do in Arkansas. Because
Yeah.
John Calipari left Kentucky, said bye, Bluegrass State. I'm out of here. Wildcats, peace. Dipped out, went to Arkansas. Now he's the new head coach for the Razorbacks, right? And I can tell you, this could possibly be John Calipari's best performance or best results or best, whatever you want to call it, going to Arkansas. First thing, I'm not surprised he left. John Calipari hadn't stayed nowhere forever. He's always left. He's always going to, I just think, he does what he does and then he moves on. He's the college version of Larry Brown, right? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think this is going to be his biggest challenge right now. He only got one kid on the roster. So what he does best is recruiting. I think going to Arkansas got some money, man. They got some money over there. They got it, and they got a little history because I don't remember Nolan Richardson was the head coach over there, and they had some success under Richardson. So Razorbacks might be back, and with his recruiting, anything is possible. And it because he was already one and done anyway. So Calipari ain't worried about you stand 2, 3, 4 years or anything like that. He never was. So I come there, I ball for Arkansas, and we have some fun, and then I move on. So, but I do believe this is his biggest challenge, and if he overcomes this, man, it's going to be amazing because the story is going to start out with he didn't have a team. He went to a squad that didn't have a team and then he built it. Kentucky, on the other hand, I think it was time for both of them to separate anyway. Kentucky was not the same Kentucky that they used to be, where they were this perennial powerhouse where everybody feared them and everything. It was time to move on. They lost some recruits. No surprise there. That's going to happen when you lose your recruiting tool, if you will. They got new representation. They can start over, but it's still going to be Kentucky, right? You still would want to play there. You're still going to love the environment, but it's going to take maybe a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit of time, and I think now with Kentucky, it's not going to be in that first or second year. We're talking about what can Kentucky do. I think it's going to be what you call the traditional way, and that is a senior led group, right? I think you'll have some juniors and some seniors and a few sophomores in there. So in about 2, 3, maybe 4, I'd say, I'm not saying they're going to be like Connecticut, because Connecticut, Hurley said, you better get us now, and we see what they did back to back. But I do believe probably in 4 to 5 years, that'll be a solid senior led team, and Kentucky will still be all right, but it ain't gonna be the same. It ain't gonna be the same. So that is the world we live in now with college basketball, NILs and NBA and so forth, and the portal. It's all that stuff. But that's why we watch. That's why we watch. And speaking of watching, keep watching the Wait a Minute show. Again, we always posting every single week, so you don't want to miss out. Catch us. We always drop everything on Tuesday. So turn on those notifications, share it. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.